YG is known for their starvation strategy, for positioning their artists to be exclusive artists, so they don't give their artists a lot of comebacks. Now, one of you sent me an email, very, very interesting, long but interesting and very insightful email, saying that this strategy, that people who keep on harping about this strategy is just trying to discredit artists like BLACKPINK, because they're basically crediting the strategy rather than the talent of the artists. So his point is that all of this are that there is no strategy. The only reason YG is not giving their artists any comeback is that they're lazy. And if in fact, if the strategy actually exists, then all of the artists of YG would make it as big as BLACKPINK and Big Bang and 21. The mere fact that some artists actually go on and get forgotten, that is proof that that the strategy does not exist, or if there is a strategy, it is not effective. So he's saying that BLACKPINK, Big Bang, and 21 actually made it big despite of, not because of the strategy. Let's go back. So if we look at the history of YG, it is true that they don't give their artists a whole lot of comebacks. So Big Bang was active for what, 12 years, 13 years, and they came out with 3 Korean studio albums. And the discography, if you actually play the entire discography of Big Bang, it's actually just a little over 4 hours. If you compare that to their contemporary, one of their contemporaries, which would be Super Junior, they actually came out with 9 studio albums up until 2018. And that doesn't include all the others, units and mini albums and stuff like that. Now, Stray Kids, who, as everybody knows, is a junior of Big Bang, their discography is actually already longer than that of Big Bang. And then there's 21. They released, in the span of 7 years that they were together, they released 2 Korean studio albums. And of course, we all know that the members themselves keep on complaining about it. If you compare that to another contemporary, which is FX, they were together for almost the same amount of time and they released 4 Korean studio albums. And let's not talk about BLACKPINK, of course. They have a total of 30 songs in 6 years. Considering how big they are, everyone knows that they should be given more songs. Now, so basically the point of this, and then there's so going back, so the point of the person who emailed me is that they made it big despite of the lack of content. Compare that to other artists of YG, for example, iKON. They debuted only a year before BLACKPINK, and they were actually really big when they were first launched. But then, because of the lack of content, that sort of stunted their growth until they were forgotten. So he's saying that if the strategy works, if there is a strategy and if it actually works, then it would work on all artists. The mere fact that there are some artists who actually fail is a proof that the strategy does not work. And all these other artists who actually made it big, made it be despite of and not because of the strategy. So let's go back to the strategy. The starvation strategy or the exclusive strategy is a well-known strategy in the marketing world, not just for the entertainment industry, but any kind of product. But for as long as you're trying to market something, for as long as you're trying to brand something, it's a well-known strategy. If you look at artists, for example, Adele, who's been in the industry for 15 years, only has 52 songs. So I think from the first album, she waited like 3 years before coming out with another one. And there's Linkin Park, who's been together for 23 years. They averaged, there was an average of 3-year wait in between albums. Of course, their lead vocalist passed away in 2017. My heart broke. They're my favorite band of all time. But so let's not count that. But for the first 8 years, they released 3 studio albums. Beyonce was of course very big when she was with Destiny's Child. She wasn't as big when she went solo in 2013, but it still took her 3 years to release between the first and the second studio album, and then 2 years to release Sha Sha Fierce, which is her 3rd studio albums, and another 3 years of wait before she released 4, which is her 4th studio album. So in the span of 20 years of being a solo artist, she released a total of 6 studio albums. That's not a lot. And then you don't have to just look at it exclusively from the product of artists. There are, if you look at like just products, Ferrari, as we all know, they don't release a lot of models, and they don't release a lot of units per model. So, and they cost you, it will cost you your soul, your wife's soul, your firstborn. That's how expensive they are. And of course, the luxury brands like Chanel, they would come out with 6 collections a year. Six, and it's $1 billion company. There's another company who actually does the exact opposite, and they release, like, Shane is the name of Sheen is the name of the brand. It's very, very popular here. Their products are very, very affordable, but it's pretty good quality, and they release 6,000 pieces a year, 6,000 different styles and different different clothes basically in a year, and they earn the same amount of money. So if you would look at it, if Chanel would release just the same amount, then shouldn't they be earning more, right? But no, it's like they're not going to earn. They most likely will most likely earn just the same amount, because the exclusivity of the product gets taken away. Okay, so even artists, even paintings, if the Mona Lisa is so expensive because there's only one of that. If he made an artist can create another one of the same painting, but it's not going to look the same. It's so unique. That's why it's so expensive. But the starvation strategy is not going to work by itself. If right now I release a product and tell you, okay, I designed a dress or whatever it is, and I tell you there's only 5 of them, and I'm going to sell them for $10,000. No one's gonna buy it, right? Who are you? I don't care about what you make. So the starvation strategy by itself won't stand. Now, Yang Sok, early on, he established his artists, his idols he sort of separated them from all idols in the Korean industry. He said that his artists are YG idols are artists. In fact, he said that the reason the comebacks are so rare is that he's waiting for them to create songs that would pass the highest standards, and they need to create them. And they personally need to create and participate in the production because they are artists, not products. So that worked. And for years and years, he did that. There were a lot of videos of GD and TOP in the studio creating their own songs, participating in the production. And so now people are convinced that once they release an artist, once they debut an idol, it would be an artist, and they're great. And so that those two together work well. Okay, what's interesting is that, as we all know, 21, that he did not treat his male idols the same way he treated his female idols, or he did not treat his female idols the same way he treated his male idols. In 21, CL was allowed to write some of the raps that in some of their songs, but none of the members participated in the production or the songwriting. And BLACKPINK, it was just recently that they were allowed to participate in the production of their songs. And I think this is very unfair because all those 4 members of BLACKPINK, they're talented artists, and they should be given the control over their creatives. And of course, I think it's obvious that they're carrying YG on their shoulders. I think they should be given the control over their own creatives. Now, so the starvation strategy and the positioning work well together. However, the strategy is evolving. What's his name? Teddy, the producer of BLACKPINK, admitted in the movie, and I did watch it. I actually did a review of the movie and their special in Netflix. He said that the original strategy is really to not come out with a whole lot of content for BLACKPINK. So he said that the strategy was to come out with one, smash all records, come out with another one, smash all records again. So he did acknowledge that was the strategy. But he also acknowledged in that same special that they should come out with more music. Now, he said that I have a lot of materials here, but it was intentional in the beginning that they were going to really starve the fans of contents. Now, I think that is part of the reason they decided to do 2 releases in the solo of 2 of their artists, 2 members of BLACKPINK. So does this mean, now the question is, this if we admit that, if we all know that there's a strategy and that it does work, does this mean that, does this invalidate the talent, the skills of Blackpink and Big Bang, and 21? Of course not. Absolutely not, because it takes more than just talent for anything to make it in the industry. If you've been a fan, not just K-pop, but if you've been a fan of any entertainment industry, then you would know that it takes more than just talent to make it. If talent is all it takes, I guarantee you that the entire global entertainment industry is gonna look different. It takes more than that. There has to be a perfect pairing. There has to be a third element that makes it work, and there has to be substance in the product that you're marketing. Again, if you look at Nike, for example, they have the best marketing. Obviously, they have the best marketing and sales team. But if they're selling shitty shoes, no one's gonna buy it, right? So it just goes to show that for an artist to actually sustain their popularity, their game, their output, then there has to be something. There has to be substance in the product, or in this case, the artist that they are marketing. It does not that's just because the marketing works does not invalidate the talent of Blackpink. Now, if the second question is, if there is a strategy and the strategy works, then why does it not work for all talents of YG? Because marketing is not an exact science. It is not a production process where everything is set and then you put everything through it and then the product comes out. It does not work that way. Part of it is art. So again, there has to be a third element in there that will make the partnership work and work perfectly. So yes, the strategy exists. Even Teddy admitted it. It does work, but it does not work for everybody because it's not an exact science. That's my take on it. It does not invalidate the skill and talent of Blackpink. Everyone will have. I've learned that the way different people measure or judge skills or talent is different, as art is very subjective, and I think that's part of the beauty of it. So I'm not gonna debate who's the best singer, how talented they are. I'm not gonna debate that. But I think at least we can all admit that Blackpink has something. You know, you can debate that level of something, but they do have something. And that's part of the reason that this partnership works. There's always a third element, that unknown something, that unknown ingredient that just, it's a hit or a miss. It's either not there or there. And for Blackpink, for Big Bang, and for 21, it did work for YG. So that's my take. Thanks.